Good.
Um, awesome. So, because we're talking about reflecting back and also preparing for the future, I'm going to start us off with a couple of things. One, just to kind of level set ourselves of like, remember what you signed up for. Let's revisit it briefly just so we can understand how things are going to change, or at least they might change, and therefore what you are kind of grounded in is what we want to make sure stays. We want to make sure that you all can continue to be the champions, the connectors, and the facilitators in your communities. And that will theoretically never change. And so we're very excited to have you guys be a part of this first year of the program. If you recall back in the day, you did a couple of these things. You did the prerequisite requirements, the foundations training, the ambassador training. You did a lot of training. You did an application, and you did a virtual orientation with us, which was simply more training. So you've done a lot to learn about what all this is. And so we're hoping that this is setting up for a really, really strong foundation to continue. And then those two extra parts were the things that we asked you to do for the rest of the year, creating that SciStarter public profile, and then doing at least two citizen science engagement opportunities. And I'm so excited to be hearing about the things that are happening. And I have some report on like some really awesome things that are happening in our community of ambassadors, like the people who've done more than 5 events amazingly that we did not expect. And so I'll get back to that shortly. But we did promise benefits, and I want this list to grow. So if there are things in particular, and you'll be asked later to share things that we can do to help you into next year, if there are things you want to benefit from out of this should be something you add in into that section. So something that comes to mind for me right now is we have a partnership that I'll explain a little bit later with the Solar System Ambassadors out of NASA. And one of their benefits is that they have like they get invited to calls with project scientists through NASA's bigger missions to do like a Q&A and to be that to learn how to be the expert on that topic in their community. And so that's kind of a unique experience for them. And while we've done a couple of events with project leaders to explain different projects, I think we could do better at that. So that's something I'm putting on my list of like, that would be a great benefit to bring in, assuming it's wanted. All right, so annually from now on, there are logistical things that I'm not going to be talking about today, but the fun things is we want to make sure that you can stick with that public profile that is still accessible for as long as you want to be a part of this. And we want you to still continue to support 2 citizen science engagement opportunities per year of involvement. Now, that obviously was blown out of the water by some people this year, so I'll share some of that too, because some of you went kind of crazy with events, which is amazing. And then I did add in a note here about special access to exclusive event series as one of the benefits, which is what I was somewhat referring to with the Do NASA Science Live series that is being restarted right now. And then we will still consider periodic delivery of new promotional resources moving forward, because assuming all goes well, we'll be able to. So I'm excited to do that. All right. So without further ado, I did want to bring a point to bring or to tell you all about some really awesome folks a part of the group. Not all of them are here, unfortunately, which is unfortunate, but we'll be able to tell them about it later because this is recorded. So some of the ambassadors did some amazing work, and so we started to develop some award language around that so we can validate all these folks who have done amazing things. So the 5-star facilitator is a award that is basically saying that these are SciStarter ambassadors who have organized 5 or more citizen science events. So not just 5, but they hit the 5 mark and are moving forward. And let me tell you, there were like 20 that have done 4. So it's pretty exciting to be able to kind of cut the list and just say these are like the ones who are going way, way beyond, even though a bunch of you all are doing a crazy amount as well. So we don't really have the ability to do a drum roll, but just imagine a drum roll in your brains. And then, yes, love it. And here are the folks who have earned that, which I'm not sure if all of them are here. No, they're definitely not. There's Kelly O'Donnell. Thank you, Kelly, when you look at the recording. Kelly Knitsky, I'm so sorry, Kelly, I don't remember how to pronounce your last name. Lise Mitchell, James Wester, Jim, Rachel Blomquist, and Margaret Woodruff, and Heather Caldwell. So all these folks have done more than 5 events, at least 5, and then several of them have done more than that. Someone has done 10, and then someone who has the most amount of events is also at the 11. So Rachel deserves a giant high five and probably a prize from us that I will ask about later to see what we can send her because yikes. 11 events since starting with this, which is incredible. So just so you all know how many amazing people are out there in this group, you got people to ask about what they're doing and figure out how you can learn from them or collaborate with them, whatever you want to do. All right. Since events are not the only thing we exist for, it's hard to get started with events, like super hard. And so in some of these cases, like they already work at libraries, and so they're just kind of going above and beyond and pushing to make sure that citizen science is a part of it. We also have folks who are just deserving of the Ambassador Excellence Award. I'll come up with a more fun name for it eventually if you guys want a fun name for this. But these are essentially people who have shown that they want to be really involved in the process of improving this program. So they are providing feedback, they're requesting feedback on their own things, and they're consistently engaged. So I've limited it to only 4 people based on the numbers I could gather, but this does qualify as like, again, 50 different people, but these are the folks that I think deserve it from the get-go, and then we can continue awarding people with these excellence markings later on. So those would be Melanie Narish, thank you, Melanie. Robin Salthouse, who's also here. Darren Gray, who's not here, but good job, Darren. And Marsha Crash, who is here. So thank you. And what a lovely thing that 3 out of the 4 are here. It's kind of proving the point of y'all are staying engaged and wanting to be a part of the consistent process. So thank you all. And I'm excited to see what we all accomplish moving forward. Okay, those are the only words I have so far, but I'm really excited because I've kind of like gotten the ball rolling in my brain is like how to figure out what awesome things are happening. And I have a list of ChatGPT assisted award titles that I'm really excited to use. And there's a lot of space centered ones though that we might need to organize around other things too. In any case, look forward to that because I'll definitely include more in future conversations. All right, I'm going to pause here and give the mic over to Jennifer and mute myself, and you can just let me know when you want me to change the screen for you to do.
Perfect. Thanks, Emma. So we are a small group, so we did set this up in Menti so we could do fun things like word clouds, but we also can just come off mute or go into the chat. But Emma, maybe can you grab the link and then maybe also put the QR code up. If you want to join in Menti, where we can sort of collaborate a little bit more, you're welcome to join us. Our first question is going to be, it's a word cloud. So just sort of reflection on what being a SciStarter ambassador means to you. If there's a couple of words that come up. When we talked about reflecting back and looking forward, one of the things that I thought I wanted to sort of set the stage with is sort of the two-way relationship that being a volunteer is, right? So it's not just what you're doing for SciStarter. A lot of it is also what we as volunteers get out of the work that we're doing. So being that advocate, helping people find that love of science or tap back into that love of science. We also know volunteerism often showing up in the news or in think pieces around an antidote to loneliness or feeling disconnected. So getting out there and working in your community, connecting with others as also a way to sort of reconnect our community as people feel more divided and more sort of split off, coming together to talk about science or solve a problem in our community or gather information about what's going on in the natural world where we live is a great way to pull people together and focus on what we have in common as opposed to what we don't have in common or what's different about us. So curious, connecting, yeah, connection, advocate, engaging. And again, I think really nice words that show that the words that we used at the beginning when we set up this whole ambassador program, but also some of the things that we know motivate people to get involved in their community, motivate people to feel passionate, to advocate for a cause they care about. Yeah, mentorship. Awesome. All right. Emma, if you want to move to the next one. So I wanted to sort of set the stage. And again, this is set up in Menti, but if you would rather answer in chat, or if you have a story or something that resonates with you that you want to share out loud, you are welcome to come off mute. So we're going to look back a little bit about what your favorite or most rewarding experience was, and then sharing something that was different than you thought it was going to be, or something that was maybe more challenging than you thought. And then we'll look forward. We'll take a look at maybe what one goal is that you have. And I know some of you shared that already when we were talking about things we were looking forward to in 2026. But what is that goal that you have for Citizen Science Month or for being a SciStarter ambassador? And as Emma sort of prompted at the beginning, was one thing that we could do to better support you and your work as an ambassador. So if you're in the Mentee, I think we can move forward to that first question, the experience, and either again typing it in, or if you want to share, come off mute and share, you're welcome to do that as well.
I was thinking if people are typing too, we might be able to share the things that we loved about being a part of the starting
Hmm.
experience too. I'm thinking if you have one, feel free to share first.
Um, I can share mine. When Darlene first reached out to me ages ago, it was um, I think 2022 when she first reached
Oh,
out to
whoa.
me. And it was really in an advisory capacity. She was really looking for someone to just sort of review materials. And when we had our first sort of call in, I believe 2023, we or 20, yeah, 2023, it was I started asking a whole bunch of questions like, have you thought about this and have you thought about that? And Darlene was like, actually, I think we don't want you just in an advisory role. I think we'd love to have you come on and really help build this out, which has been amazing for me because I don't get to do that much in my current role with Idealist. It's a very much a 10,000-foot view. So I've just really enjoyed being part of this from the beginning and seeing what everybody's been able to accomplish. Oh,
It's a
local
really good.
Yeah, local butterfly festivals, that sounds amazing. And working with a native plant grower for monarch butterflies. Countywide bio blitz, yeah, that just get people outside to discover, get them excited. I love that.
I really enjoyed all of the orientations that I was a part of, learning and being able to talk to each of you about why you applied and why you were part of it was really fun. That one-on-one contact is also we like even though like Idealist is 10,000 feet, SciStarter is like 1,000 feet, and
Yeah,
then being in those conversations is one-on-one is just wonderful.
absolutely. Oh my gosh.
Hitchhiked?
I assume maybe attended with sort of without a formal invitation, maybe not actually
That
hitchhiking.
was me. I got the okay, but it was like a boothing event for advertised for the master, like come talk to the master
Oh,
gardeners. And
wow.
then I was like, can I just have a booth next to y'all? And they're
Um,
like, yeah. So it was okay. It was okay. It was on the up.
Yeah. You weren't getting in cars with strangers, though.
No, 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 no.
oh,
Okay, good.
okay.
And I love that it sort of got turned around. Like it felt like a flop, but that actually you were able to connect with people who were really excited about that and like maybe interested in doing more work.
Mm,
Working with a
local
local program for the Space and Science Center in Northwest Arkansas. Awesome. Yeah.
What was the topic of the local program? I'm assuming that was Keith, but I don't
Yes,
know if
what did
anyone
you
else.
say?
Shows. Yeah.
Oh,
What
I
is,
just was curious what the local, so if it was a local program, was there a specific topic they were
yeah,
doing?
Northwest Arkansas, there's no science center or anything. And so I've joined with another professor that I worked with, and she's trying to get a space and science center. She's been going at it for quite a while now. They've got a very large old Brashears telescope that a
Oh,
observatory
fun.
gave them. So they are going to refurbish it and
Nice.
build one observatory. Then they're going to have another observatory that's going to have a scientific telescope that's going to be online. And anyway, they're going to have classes and all kinds of
Okay, so
stuff.
beyond just the like people showing up for an event, this is a whole program. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
Yeah, it's
very
cool,
cool.
bro. We don't have anything. The closest thing, uh, there's only one. I
While we're
guess it's
still
in Hot
chatting, I'll do
Springs, and that's like 2 hour, 3 hour drive away. So anyway, Northwest Arkansas, is where the University of Arkansas is at, and that's our main college in Arkansas. They offer a planetary science degree there, which my uh, the woman I was talking about, I work with, she got hers there, her PhD. So anyway, she's trying to get stuff going, and we've had several star parties and several
Nice.
Oh, that's
events
great.
this year.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So our next question is around maybe what was challenging or maybe just something that was different. It doesn't have to have a negative spin to it, but something that you thought, oh, I think it's going to go this way, and it ended up going a different way, or something that you thought, oh, this is going to be the best way to move forward, and it turned out not to be. And if you felt like it was more challenging than you thought, was there a solution, or did you find another way into it? And I know Em and I have chatted about this a little bit, getting those events, getting that foot in the door with an organization, especially if you're not already connected with that organization or a library. We found we didn't expect that to be quite so much of a barrier, but we know it has been. I think
Definitely.
that's one of the things that's been nice about being in from the beginning, right? Is you have this vision and this idea, but it doesn't always work out the way you think it's going to. So how can you find
Hmm.
that additional opportunity or maybe reset or reevaluate so that we can move forward in a way where there's less resistance or less just sort of roadblocks.
Yeah. And as someone who has done presentations in front of empty chairs, or
Yeah.
like a couple of library employees who were like, "Oh yeah, we couldn't get anyone to come, but we'll sit in." I've done that several times, so I know the pain, or I know the like anxiety of like, oh, that could still happen. That still happens today. Like that was not even when I
Yeah.
first started. So it happens.
Yeah.
Um, and we learn from it and we figure out what makes more sense. And for that library, it was doing that not on the day or time that they chose, which was very unlikely to bring anyone.
Yeah, and it can be tough, right? And I appreciate this comment that like thinking about where people already are and then going there instead
Hmm.
of having people come to another, like to a specific event or a specific location. I think the Master Gardener example is a great example of that, right? You're like, I'm not sure what that's going to be, but like there are some people here who could be really interested about this. It's interested in this and learn about this, even though they weren't the people I thought they were going to be. Oh, an astronomy event rained out. Ended up doing it the next weekend. But yeah, they had already been on the calendar. We haven't figured out how to control the weather yet, so that is definitely a challenge. Yeah, finding that right person at the library, because there may not be a person whose job that is, or that might be a job that's split up amongst a bunch of people. And finding that right person and the person who also feels empowered to say yes. So you might find the person responsible for programming, but they don't feel like they're the one who's authorized to say yes to a new program. Oh yeah, getting more participants for events with lots of promotion on social media and posters and things like that. Yeah, sort of rethinking how you spread the word or how you invite people in.
Hmm. Has anyone tried to use the Meetup app?
Oh,
Just out of curiosity. I just thought of that, so it's not something I'm hanging on to. But I know I use it for book club purposes, so and trivia nights occasionally.
yeah. I feel like did they change something where you have to like have a paid account now to post meetups?
It might be. I know there are paid accounts. It might be like if you have more than one event or something, like it might be a
Yeah.
trial situation. I'm not sure. We could have one SciStarter meetup account that everyone could add events to. That would be nice. I will look into it actually, because that might make a difference for things that might
Yeah.
happen in person in the future.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to share anything? We'll move on to our looking forward questions. And you're welcome to come off mute too.
I have one other one that I'm not gonna be able to type up fast enough.
Yeah.
The one thing that was challenging is all the steps to actually get into the citizen science project and helping people get
Mm.
to that point without scaring them. Because it's
Mhm.
like, okay, sign
Yes.
up for SciStarter, and then you got to search for the project, and then you got to go into the project, and then depending on the project, because they're not all the same, there's like different processes, and then learning how to do
Mhm.
that project, like, so that trying to make that sequence as smooth as possible for folks.
Totally. Yeah, I relate to that entirely. I will say there are some, depending on the situation, like who you're working with, there are some ways, not around that per se, but like there's sneaky ways in which we could, it's moment in time. So forgive me, since this is not to say that this will always work because it's for that moment in time and won't guarantee that they'll continue it later. But you can request that they do. But libraries, because they have their own desktop computers, they can have a login per computer that's owned by the library. So it's not an individual's account. So you don't have to scare them with that step first,
Mhm.
but it's still contributing to SciStarter's numbers so that we can make sure that we're tracking like where is citizen science happening. But in that case, once they've done it, then that's their process. When they go home, they know you can just explain that those are the steps we took. So you can start on your own too, which might be a way to not scare them as much. So it's not the upfront cost, it's a secondary after you've had the buy-in. I have not personally tested this though, so
Hmm.
um, to be decided, determined.
All right. So looking forward, thanks for sharing your experiences and your reflecting back. And if you put this in as something you're looking forward to as 2026, you can add it in again. But if there's a goal that you have for being an ambassador or specifically around Citizen Science Month for 2026, I always think it's nice if we can verbalize it or write it down. It makes it easier to work towards a goal. And these can be a little bit nebulous too if you're not quite sure what you want that goal to look like yet. If you just have an idea, that's okay too.
I think of what our goals should be. We have too many goals for the ambassador crew anyway. 2.5 million acts of science, for sure.
2.5 million acts of science. That's a good one. It feels ambitious, but it's like, I don't think it's that far out of like what's realistically happened in the past, right?
Yeah. I mean, for Citizen Science Month, that's our goal, which we did pass last year. So we should be
Yeah.
okay in theory. Hopefully
Um,
it's not lower somehow.
you know, why would you say
Personally.
that?
Personally, I don't think I could get to 2.5 million by myself, but maybe I'll try to do more citizen science though. That would be
Oh,
good.
that's a good
Doing this gym.
goal.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
project a day or something during Citizen Science Month.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to spring and new events.
Mhm.
Yeah, I, I've shared this a couple of times in the last couple of weeks because I do a lot of trainings, but I am not a winter girly. I do not like the dark, getting dark at like
Mhm.
5 o'clock. I don't like it at all. So yes, I'm looking forward to when it starts to get light again, then we can like be awake after 5 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Mm.
Does anybody else have one? You can come off mute if you want, if you don't feel like typing, or even just a goal to continue doing what you're doing to sort of refresh that commitment. Ooh,
Ooh.
50 middle schoolers. Nice. Yeah. And yes, iNaturalist and BioBlitzes can be such a nice entry point, especially at that age range, right? They can get really excited about things that they can learn and things that they can know and ways that they can participate in citizen science.
That sounds like a really fun time too. Just running around taking pictures of wildlife with 50 middle schoolers.
Well, maybe not too much wildlife. If there's
Yeah.
50 middle schoolers, the wildlife might be hiding.
All the plants. They could do the
The
plants.
plants, the flora rather than the fauna.
Precisely.
All right. Well, yeah, again, this is if we move to the next question, which is how can we help you? What are you looking for? What's something that we can do, or if there's a specific resource, this can be as specific and granular as you'd like it to be, or it could be wider if you have an idea for some of these ambassador supports or trainings. And again, this is not a one and done. If there's something that you know, tomorrow you're driving to the store and you're like, oh, I really should have said this, you can obviously let us know.
We're doing everything correctly. That's what you're telling us right now. Which I know we can do better.
I will
But
also say, I think one of the great things about SciStarter and definitely Emma's work here is that I do feel like this organization is really responsive, right? So if you have an idea or you need something or you're struggling to figure something out, and I really appreciate the sort of when we talked about reflecting back and sort of sharing some highlights, that just being engaged is something that we want to recognize for ambassadors, and that if you are providing feedback or looking for feedback or asking questions, that to us makes you an amazing SciStarter ambassador.
easier access to promotional materials. Yeah, I'm rebuilding your guys' resources page, FYI, because we totally agree. Right now, it's just a set of 4 buttons that go to the Google Drive, which for some people love Google Drives and they're totally cool with using it like that. But there's no preview, there's no really good look at these things ahead of time. So yeah, we're absolutely going to rebuild that for you all in the very near future. It's on my list, and I am the defunct web designer right now. No, I'm a default web designer as a backup right now, and it'll get even better. So yeah, thanks for adding that, because it should be on high of our list. Whoever said that, by the way, if you want to be one of my reviewers for it, we'll be sending out to you to figure out what the feedback should be. So feel free to email me. Yeah, nothing else.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
that's my section. I just want to say thank you personally to all of you for being such an important part of SciStarter and for really helping us build out and I think excel in this sort of first year, which I mentioned we weren't really sure what was going to happen or how if people would apply or if people would do events. And I think we've all been just blown out of the water with how excited people have been and so how much work you all have done connecting people to citizen science in the communities. And as I said, we did learn some barriers or roadblocks that we hadn't anticipated, but we are thinking about those as well. So that's my personal thank you. I'll turn it back over to Emma and we'll finish up.
And I could absolutely reiterate all of that. It was so lonely before we brought you all in. So I started such a small team. So thank you for joining us. So we have some updates and news for you all. So if you want to join us for the next thing, I have too many links for you. So they'll obviously go into a newsletter tomorrow for you. So stay tuned for that. But just so you're aware, the biggest update being that we are starting a new series with NASA proper. NASA Citizen Science is an entire section of NASA that we just got support to start a partnership to do more events. And those events need your support. So these are hundreds of people on these calls. We had 900 something on our biggest one last or 2 years ago now. So these are really big events, and so we need your help. These are partnership programs with the NASA Solar System ambassadors, who are our counterparts at, or your counterparts, I should say, ambassadors at NASA, volunteers who just love NASA programming. And we're working together to do a series of interactive events, inviting everyone, so all of the audiences you may work with, and specific groups across the US, depending on the event. So we've done an event for veterans, we'll likely do that again, and military families, etc. And we've done some with like student groups, like school specific programs, or the National Teachers or National Science Teachers Association, and so on. And we essentially feature a NASA project, have that scientist with us to do hands-on activities with the audience and to answer questions. And so we're looking for your help to be on those calls with us, to help us with those moderation of the chat and with the community itself, maybe even breakout groups or breakout rooms in Zoom. being our technical and chat support, on-site hosts if you want to host your own satellite event. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to do this. And so on November 18th, we're doing a planning meeting with all the ambassadors from SSA, the NASA Solar System ambassadors, and you all. So we'd love for you to join for that. You could scan the QR code, or you can wait until I send the email too, if you prefer as well. The virtual events that are already set in time for this year, the first year of that program or the contract, is December 11th, so it's coming up pretty soon. February 11th, April 2nd, and April 29th. So those will be coming up quite soon. And we hope you all can join us, because the April ones especially, those will be pretty busy because it's Citizen Science Month and NASA, and a lot of people. So it should be fun. And you've already done the requirements. You're already SciStarter ambassadors, so your trainings that are required of the SciStarter or the NASA ambassadors, you've already done them. You're good to go. All you need to do is make sure you know what NASA is, and join us for the events and the planning webinar. All right, cool. Second thing on the list is that Citizen Science Month, April, is still what we're requiring as one of your events, and one of your programs, I should say. If it's a passive event, that's okay too. And there's a lot going on. We're aiming for that 2.5 million Access Science as well. And it's America 250, which is the 250th anniversary of the US signing the Declaration of Independence. So to make sure you stay up to speed on what's happening, we do have an event that is totally, you can tap into it and not have to do much work, essentially. You're not planning it. You're just having people join us online. So you could be a satellite host. We're also theoretically looking for people who to be moderators in the chat and such for us too. And so when we get closer, we'll figure those things out as well. But if you would like to host a live stream at your library, it says here it's any community space, you'll be able to do the same thing that the NASA projects do. And in fact, 2 of those NASA events are Access Science connected. But these ones don't necessarily have to do with NASA. Some of them are there are other topics as well. So if this is something you want to tap into as like a ready-made event, so you don't need to worry about too much of the planning, we got it set for you. So please join us. These are the dates and the topics. It's going to be NASA, National Archive transcriptions, Alzheimer's disease, Earth Day, which would be animals and camera trap images, and then NASA again. Ta-da. All right, so I'm actually going to skip this slide because I explained that already, and I have a ton of links for you. So because we're at we're at 42 actually. I'm going to backtrack one more. So with Citizen Science Month being the month that we asked for you to do at least one of your programs, we do have a resources page. I recently started working to make some changes on it. So it might look a little bit different in a couple of days, but essentially all the resources are there and mostly updated for you to start using. So if you were to go to this link, or you can go to citizensciencemonth.org and go to event resources, and you'll see all of them there. And so if you want to start poking around in there and let us know what you still need, we're going to be adding a few things and changing some organization around the next week or so, but otherwise it's ready for your feedback if you want to see more before we get too close to April. Right. And then lastly, too many things coming up. We planned a billion things over the last month, so I will break it down for you right now. One, we just told you about November 18th. We're going to be talking to you about the Do NASA Science Live program, and it'll be a planning webinar to get you ready to help starting December 11th, which is down the list as well. Save the date, Do NASA Science Live on December 11th. We also have a Beyond the BioBlitz just like this, another one of the workshops that's for December 10th, so the day before. We'll be talking about winter projects. If you have questions about the Do NASA Science Live event for the following day, we can also talk about that as well. And then Acts of Science Connected info session, that's for all of those April events. That will be on, it says nothing right there. It's supposed to be December 15th, which is a Monday. And I'll send all these links in the chat right now as well, if I have it available. It might just have to be in the email because I have too many tabs open. There it is. And then lastly, on the right-hand side, which I don't have the links for yet, there are other info sessions you can attend. So there's one in January as well. There's one every single month. And then February is another Do NASA Science Live event that I mentioned on one of the previous slides, is February 11th. So too many things happening, and only so many links I can send in the chat without you being like, what do I do next? So worry about the November 18th one more than anything. And then the rest will come easily. And let me just drop that in the chat for you. Okay, that's about it. I'm going to stop talking now. Are there any questions about anything we've mentioned today?
Yeah, don't forget about tonight's auroras. You can see they saw them last night down to Florida, and you'll be able
What?
to. It's dark here. Yeah, we have a lot of solar activity, and I saw them in Arkansas last year. They look red down here, and they're
Wow.
talking that you could even see some green and red. So if they saw it in Florida, so that was last night. So tonight it's at its highest peak. So go outside, and look north, and you may be able to, if you see some red in the sky, that's the aurora. It's If you see any red in the sky, you usually don't see that until in the afternoon when the sun's going down, but at night when it's pitch black, you see red. I guarantee you it's the auroras. Yeah, they're coming all the way down here. So I just wanted everybody to know that, so that they can go out tonight and see them.
Wow.
It's
I
already
saw Marcia say she
it's
was
already
sucked
dark here.
in.
As soon as this is over, I'm headed outside. So anyway,
Some of
yeah.
us
So it's
have weather that's not cooperating with us.
oh,
But I'm in the same place, Marcia, or not in the same place, but we're getting rain tonight. But I know I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I know people just in the North Bay, Marin, and Novato saw a ton of
yeah.
the Aurora Borealis last night, which is really cool. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna go out. I'm in Arkansas, so I'm about halfway down, so they should come down. Yeah, Colorado should be able to see them. Arkansas, at least down
How
to the
about
mid
DC?
states. So, who knows?
I think
Uh,
so, Emma. If you have clear skies, you should be able to see it.
I have
I'm
clear skies
also in a
tonight. It's a
city.
beautiful day.
Yeah. Well, that's
So
light
not sure if
pollution
the
is
city lights will help.
yeah. Light pollution is a
Yeah,
different
you're gonna get
story.
some more dark. Well, yeah, city lights more or less it bleeds them out. But yeah, if you get to a dark place, you can see them.
All right, I'll go deep into the suburbia before the end of the night so I can see if I can
There
catch
you go.
them.
Good
Thanks for the
night for a
info,
ride.
Keith.
As long as it's clear and the stars are out, it'd be a good night for a ride. Sure.
Sweet.
But
Awesome.
I
I'll go
live
ahead and
out
stop my screen share
there.
because that's a
Yeah.
lot.
All right.
Um, Great. Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else have any, commentary too, or any questions before we sign off? We always end after the 45, but I think we got to the content before the end of the
Yeah.
45 this time, which is rare. So yay us. Nothing. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, then I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thanks, Jennifer, for doing this with me.
Yeah. Bye,
And
everybody.
we'll look forward to seeing you next time. See you in November. It is November. Sorry. See you in 6 days.